I guess let's start sort of basic. How would you describe how your season's been so far?
Yeah, I can't really describe it in one word. It's been up and down for sure. I've had some really great moments and some moments I'd like to leave behind forever. So yeah, overall I think it's been a positive for me. You know, I've got to live the dream and play Premier League games and you know, really experience all that this league has to offer in terms of quality and pressure and dealing with that. And I think at the end of it all, I'll look back on this time and think that I've really enjoyed it so far.
I remember before, when we talked before the World Cup, you were talking about how your experience with that goal at Fairfield helped give you a different perspective on how, as a goalkeeper, you deal with, you know, sort of high-profile errors. And, you know, in a lot of ways, it was a formative experience for you. Has that helped you as you've had some mistakes here that have gotten maybe more attention than like if you were a defender or a midfielder?
Yeah, I'd say in a lot of ways, like I've been able to put those behind me. You know, like goalkeepers all over the league make errors, and you know that's because this league is so cutthroat and it's fast and the players are really good. So, you know, if you don't bring 100% of the time, you know, if you only bring 98% as a goalkeeper, that 2% can get you found out. So, I've had some really positive games that have been overshadowed by you know, a goal here that maybe could have been avoided. So yeah, I obviously would like to iron those out and have the chances to continue to push through it. And yeah, I'd say obviously that experience definitely helped me. It's allowed me to block out noise and focus on, you know, my teammates, my family, and really what the coaching staff is asking from me rather than care about what everyone else is saying.
Matt Turner profile has always been, you know, incredible shot stopper, less good when it comes to playing with the ball at his feet. When you look at your own self-evaluation, what do you see? Do you think that's fair criticism? Do you feel like you've been unlucky in some moments? Or how do you sort of self-evaluate your scouting report?
Yeah, I'd say it's kind of felt like a little bit unlucky sometimes because everything that could possibly have gone wrong in certain moments has gone completely wrong. You know, sometimes as goalkeepers you might get away with one or two, and it feels like this season I've gotten away with 0 of them. And yeah, that's been really frustrating and tough to take. You know, I want everything to be perfect all the time, and I don't really feel like I've given the best of myself consistently for the club, and that's really disappointing. And you know, it's disappointing for myself because I hold myself to a certain standard and demand a certain level from myself. And you know, I've been searching for the answers and trying to fight through the moments. And you know, I always end up back with family and friends and my close circle of people that I can always rely on to just chit chat about anything and yeah, get that love and support and just keep going. And I think it's all part of the process for me. Like the last few weeks, really, I've been enjoying my football again, and I'm playing with a smile on my face, and you know, my performances have been steadily improving. You know, basically since the Christmas time, I've been getting better and better, and yeah, so now I got a real fight on my hands for the position, and I'm looking forward to it because this is the process that I've been through many times in my career, and I'm sure we'll have to continue to go through no matter what.
Whenever we've talked, it's always been like you're trying to sort of compete for something, prove something. What was your reaction when you heard that Forest was bringing in Nets?
Yeah, I didn't blame them given the way things had gone for me, but you know, at the same time, I felt like I was doing all right, you know, and I was getting better and improving, but you know, this is a results business, and we haven't been getting the results that we probably deserve or need if we want to stay in the Premier League. So listen, they're gonna make the decisions that they think is the best for this football club and this city, and people's jobs and livelihoods. And for me, I'm just gonna have to continue to support the team the best way I can, but also be ready to play if my number's called again, and continue to work on the areas I need to. And yeah, like I said, I'm no stranger to being in these types of scenarios. I've been overlooked and doubted many times in my life and in my career, and I wouldn't have gotten to this point, you know, if I wasn't steadfast and confident in myself. So I have to continue and double down on myself and try to get better and prove to these fans and the people of Nottingham that, you know, I can be somebody that has a real impact on this football club.
What has the manager told you about what he wants from you now?
Just like, yeah, keep it simple. Keep it simple with the ball at my feet, and make the plays that I can make, that they've seen me make day in, day out in training. Continue coming for crosses and dominating the air like I have been all season. And I think the biggest message is to enjoy and to smile while I'm playing. And I think that was a light that really clicked for me, because I went through a phase where I wasn't really, not even for the national team, like I just felt more intense focus, and I wasn't feeling that joy, that smiling that when I'm playing my best I usually have. So for me, it's getting back to that, and that's been a real good piece of advice I got from the coaching staff.
You've seen a lot of teammates on the other side in the Premier League from the national team. Now you've got one here. When did you first hear about Gio coming, and what was your reaction?
Yeah, I heard some rumblings about it. A friend of mine messaged me asking if it was true. I hadn't heard anything about it, so I messaged Gio, and true to Gio's nature, he didn't respond. So I thought to myself, oh, he didn't answer me? Yeah, it must be something to that. But yeah, no, listen, he had to go through the process on his own, figure out what was the best move for him in his career at that moment, and all I wanted to offer him was an ear if he wanted to bounce any ideas off of or ask any questions about the city and the football club. And he didn't use me at all. And he ended up making the decision to come here, and it's been really great having him, having another American here, especially because Ethan left. So now I lost one American, but I got another. And yeah, he's just a bright young player. I'm excited to see how he adapts to the Premier League and the experiences that he'll go through. And it'll be cool to see him grow over this next few months and get to know him a little bit better.
How do you think Gio's game will fit with this team, but also in this league?
Yeah, I think our coach's message has been to play a little bit more, and Gio's that type of player. He wants to be on the ball. He wants to make an impact on the game with the ball at his feet, and so I think he can really help us in a lot of areas by combining, making plays, and once he establishes better connection with some of the players, gets more familiar with their movements and how they like the passes, how they want the ball. I can see him being a really strong asset to our team.
Do you see any difference between, Gio Reyna in the run-up to the World Cup and obviously everything that went into that, and who he is now?
Absolutely. He's grown up a ton right before my eyes, it feels like sometimes. And the best compliment I can give him is that right now I see a consistent approach from him every single day. And he takes care of his body, he's in the gym when he needs to be, he's eating the right things, and he's really focused on continuing to get better and learning the game and adapting and becoming a well-rounded footballer, but also person, in his personal life. So I think he's got a really bright future, like I said, and I'm excited to see what he can do for us.
When you think about your own situation here, are you able to sort of divorce that from what you hope will happen with the national team, or do you feel like playing time here is super important because I want to keep my job as the number one with the national team?
Yeah, I mean, ideally I'm number one out and out, playing every single game here and with the national team. So that's the perfect world scenario. But as we know, when it comes to my career and most people's careers, it's never a perfect pathway. So yeah, I'm going to do what I have to do here, fight my way through what I need to fight through. And hopefully the national team call-up still comes and my number's called and I'm ready to perform. I think if that's the case and I have the chance to play a run of games in Copa America this summer, they're really important games. I have to put my foot down and show to my teammates and the coaching staff that I'm still the guy to be the number one and to move forward with me in between the sticks. And if the summer were to go poorly, then I have to reevaluate my club situation and reevaluate my situation and how to continue to stay in the national team consistently. So that's part of the reason why I made this jump, in order to get into the conversation as the number one for the national team. And now I'm sort of addicted to life in the Premier League. Like, I want to be in the Premier League. I want to be around it. I want to continue to strive to get better and better. And I think that this is the place for me to do that. So yeah, I think the national team's super important to me. Everybody knows that. I want to play as much as I can. Like this past summer, opting in to play Gold Cup, and yeah, so I'm going to do whatever I can to continue to push myself and push forward with the national team.
Lindsey Horan from the U.S. women's team,
Yeah.
last week she was quoted in an interview saying, American soccer fans, most of them aren't smart. They don't know the game, they don't understand, but it's getting better and better. What's your thought on that perception of American fans, or that take from a player on American fans?
Well, first of all, Lindsey, you put me on the hot seat, so thank you. I mean, listen, I think I sort of alluded to it earlier in the interview where I talked about the fans here, and that's all I can really speak about is the fans here in England. And you know, there is an intelligence about them, and football is ingrained in their DNA, and so they really do feel the emotions of the game and the ebbs and flows, and they understand, you know, what might be a difficult scenario on the pitch and how players solve it with short passing and get out the other side and applaud that, rather than, you know, I think what she might be referring to is like, you know, the way people just talk about the game and say, oh, like you had a great game. But, you know, I think that too sometimes. If the commentator says I had a great game or a terrible game, you can't take that as the gospel. You have to be able to look at the game and evaluate it yourself. I wouldn't go so far as to saying they're not intelligent. You know, I think that there's some places in America where you go and there's a lot of really knowledgeable soccer fans that, you know, they want to see what's best. They want to see the team play a certain way and a certain style and a certain identity, and they want to feel an attachment to that. And I think, you know, the fan base in the United States is amazing, and I look forward to, and I love playing there every time I get the opportunity to.
They did announce the other day that the World Cup final in 26 is going to be in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Seems like you're a perfect guy to ask for your thoughts on, you know, when the U.S. team is playing in the final, to get to play close to home. What's your take?
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. I can't think of anywhere better in the country to have that. The melting pot of different backgrounds and ethnicities and people of different cultures coming together. And New York is New Jersey is the best melting pot of that all. So to have the World Cup final there is super exciting. It's great for the region, and yeah, it makes me even hungrier to get there.
How far do you think the U.S. needs to get to in that tournament to make the impact that, I mean?
The final, I feel like people, and then if we make the final, it's winning it, you know? I think, you know, the fans, we have a really strong team. We have really strong players. And, you know, tournaments aren't always perfect. But I think the fans have a level of expectation that's been growing over the years, and I think it's coming to its boiling point when the World Cup is here in 26. And you know, we have a young team that won't be so young the next time around with World Cup experience under our belts. So yeah, we're looking forward to that for sure. But we still have 2 tournaments to go before we get to that point. So. A few trophies up for grabs that we want to be able to lift for our home fans.